Hello and welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast, a virtual gathering place for the Tapestry spiritual formation community. I'm Gloria, your host, and I am delighted to share this space with you today as we look for the manna we need to feed our souls. It is Wednesday, the first day of May 2024, and the lectionary text is John 14, verses 18 to 31. If you are new to the liturgical calendar, you may wonder about the 7 weeks of the Easter season and its purpose. During Holy Week, so much happens in Jesus' life, culminating in his arrest, his trials, his death, and resurrection, that there seems barely enough time to take it all in. So during the season of Easter, which begins after Resurrection Day, we have the time to meditate on Jesus's goodbye words to his disciples, known as the farewell discourse. And this farewell discourse is covered in John chapters 13 to 17. Jesus spoke to his disciples nonstop in these chapters, and they're about what they needed to hear from him as he introduced them to the work and role of the Holy Spirit, who would be their advocate. That's the one who would be like their defense lawyer, the person they could turn to and converse about everything. Sometimes we try to limit the work of the Spirit to specific experiences, or we might need to know and understand the role of the Spirit. So Jesus, in explaining his coming departure to his disciples, understood that in the future they would feel as abandoned orphans. At that moment, in the upper room, they were grappling with the looming uncertainty of Jesus' arrest and their own fears. They needed comfort for their troubled hearts. So Jesus gently urged them, don't let your hearts be troubled. Take your focus off your fear and your troubles and believe in me. Pentecost Sunday is May the 19th this year. And the season of Pentecost, or the season after Pentecost, begins the next day. It is the inauguration of life with the Holy Spirit for the remainder of the liturgical year until Advent, when we start a new year. Now, the season after Pentecost is typically, depending on when Easter is, 23 to 28 Sundays. So you can see it's a long time, and we want to familiarize ourselves with the role and purpose of the Spirit in our lives. Jesus introduced his disciples to the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, who would live in them, be with them, and guide them into all that was truth. He assured his disciples he was not abandoning or leaving them so they would feel like orphans. The Holy Spirit would be there with them. Here are several threads that are woven throughout the Gospel of John. Firstly, there is a strong relationship between Jesus and his Father, and between his Father and those who believe in him. It is the Father that empowers us to become children of God. Secondly, there is another woven thread in the Gospel of John. Here it is, listen carefully. Faith is a relationship with a living being. Let me say that again. Faith is a relationship with a living being. We can have a relationship with a resurrected Jesus through the Spirit who makes the presence of the living Jesus and his Father known to us. And thirdly, when you read the Gospel of John, the word know, that's K-N-O-W, means to be in a relationship, just as the word abide also means the same as in a relationship. So, how can we begin to live the remaining weeks of the season of Easter? We can use this time to learn the importance of the Holy Spirit as we enter and live out the season after Pentecost. We might want to try to imagine Jesus speaking to the disciples, and their eyes are getting weary after a huge Passover meal. But he tells them there's no need to worry about remembering everything said. The Holy Spirit will bring it to your remembrance when you need it. We are Easter people. We are people of the resurrection. Because of Jesus' resurrection, there is abundant life to be lived. Consider the resurrection again as the inauguration of the new life guided by the Spirit. The Spirit speaks with us. The Spirit is a conversationalist who wants to interact with us. Like Jesus, the Spirit will teach us the truth about Jesus and what is happening in the world, calling us to deepen our relationship with the divine family. So let us not ignore or grieve the Spirit of truth.